Imagine dropping your kids off for a weekend visit and never seeing them again. A father vanishes into the wilderness after allegedly murdering his daughters. This is the disturbing and unresolved story of Travis Decker. It all began on May 30th, 2025, in Wenatchee, Washington. Travis Decker, a 32-year-old U.S. Army veteran with training and survival skills, arrived to pick up his daughters, Peyton, 9, Evelyn, 8, and Olivia, 5, for a court-ordered custody visit at 5 p.m. He was expected to return by 8 p.m., but he never did. Concerned, their mother, Whitney, called the police at 9:45 p.m. when she couldn't reach him. On June 2nd, a horrifying sight awaited investigators. Travis's abandoned truck was found at Rock Island Campground, and his wallet, cell phone, and husky were still inside. 2 bloody handprints appeared on the tailgate, later confirmed by DNA to be Travis's nearby in the woods. Authorities found the lifeless bodies of his 3 daughters, each suffocated, with zip ties and plastic bags covering their heads. What should have been a joyful weekend ended in unimaginable tragedy and a nationwide manhunt.
In the wilderness of Washington state, an intensifying search for the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters.
These young girls were a victim.
These are the most recent images of 32-year-old Travis Decker. Authorities say he hasn't been seen since getting the 3 girls for a planned visit last Friday. Their mother reported them missing later that day. Then Monday, investigators found 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia zip-tied and asphyxiated near a campground, according to court documents.
I don't know anyone in the community who wasn't crushed.
Decker, an Army veteran, is now wanted on 3 counts of murder and kidnapping. According to our CBS affiliate Cairo 7, Decker had missed all scheduled drills with the National Guard over the past year, and the girl's mother has raised concerns about his mental health.
I really want to make sure that I point out that it's moments like these where we see our community coming together, paying respects to those young individuals that lost their lives. I want to pay respects to Peyton, Evelyn, Olivia. Your memory will never be forgotten, and we will not stop pursuing justice for you until those that were accountable for this are found. So I do appreciate everyone being here. To follow up, because I know the Captain Chance has already touched on a lot of the topics that we've already discussed, I want to give thanks to the Wenatchee Police Department, Chief Reinfeld, Captain Miller, Captain Chance, Sergeant Eaton with the Detectives Unit that provided Chelan County Sheriff's Office with the information we needed to properly assist them. For those of you who don't know, Chelan County is a large area. We have 2,900 plus square miles. When you're talking about trying to find individuals in a geographically diverse terrain, it's difficult. But by them doing their investigation follow through over the weekend, we're able to pinpoint it in the areas of Chumstick Highway, Icicle, Tumwater Canyon. I know that many of you here from the area recognize that's still a pretty large area, but we're fortunate to have partnerships with the U.S. Forest Service that funds some of our deputies, specifically U.S. Forest Service deputies that are contracted with us. Our Forest Service deputy was able to go up the Icicle. We're about 18 miles up for those of you who have not been up there. And that deputy was able to locate the vehicle of the suspect. We did back off to make sure we were in compliance with Washington state law when it comes to de-escalation, controlling pace. We called additional units. I know that many members of the community were concerned, asking why we were having deputies, police officers from East Wenatchee, Douglas County, Wenatchee PD, responding at a high rate of speed. This was an important situation for us.
The search for Travis exploded into a massive operation. Local, state, and federal agencies, including the U.S. Marshals, National Guard helicopters, and human remains detection dogs, were deployed across rugged terrain. More than 100 officers combed the Cascade Mountains, investigating 500-plus tips and offering a $20,000 reward. Despite his military training and survival skills, law enforcement insists Travis is not a wilderness guru and warned hikers to be on alert. Rumors began swirling. On June 10th, a hiker thought he spotted Travis near Highway 97. Then on July 5th, a family camping in Idaho's Sawtooth National Forest reported seeing a man matching his description. A bearded figure wearing a light-colored shirt who avoided eye contact. Still, no one has caught him. Authorities warn he may be injured, seeking asylum in Canada, or hiding in the wilderness. As sobering as the search is, it also raises deeper questions. Mental health. Travis had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and struggled financially and with homelessness.
Travis has really struggled since he left the military, and his mental health can be hard sometimes.
Warning signs. His ex-wife tried to limit overnight visits and urged him into treatment, efforts that never succeeded. Alert system gaps. Police initially didn't issue an Amber Alert, calling it a custody matter. Whitney later advocated for changes in Washington's alert criteria. Now, weeks later, Travis remains at large. The search spans from Washington to Idaho, possibly into Canada. Officials warn he's dangerous, potentially injured, but still capable of survival in the wild. The community remains on edge. The public is urged not to approach him, and hikers continue to patrol trails and cabins. So, what happened to Travis Decker? Did he escape into the wilderness? Or did he perish somewhere alone? And most heartbreakingly, will justice ever arrive for those 3 innocent sisters?
I wanted to share a means of connection the girls and I had that I think allowed them to have such warm and open hearts to the community around them. I'm so thankful for the time that I had with the girls and how the 3 feelings allowed us to connect when the world slowed down. And it really gave me an inside look into their day. I believe doing this with them allowed them to come into the world with open hearts and kindness. I hope that you are all able to do some version of the 3 feelings with your loved ones. Thank you everyone for being here tonight and the outpouring of love that you have shown me and my family over the past few weeks. I truly hope that the legacy of the girls' lives lives in everyone's heart forever. They were incredible.
New video the Decker family shared with us of happier times with those girls playing a game of limbo.
What happens when someone steps into a world they can't escape? This is the tragic story of Corinna Slusser, a teenager who disappeared into the shadows of New York City and whose final messages still haunt her family today. Let's go back to 2017. Corinna was just 19 years old when she left her small hometown in Pennsylvania. She was looking for something new, something exciting. Like many young people, she wanted a fresh start. So she moved to New York City, but what she found there was a nightmare. Corinna had once been a cheerleader. She had a bright smile and seemed full of life. But before she graduated, she had started hanging around the wrong crowd. She got involved with an older man who promised to take care of her. It was a promise that would lead her down a dark path. By the summer of 2017, Corinna had moved to the Bronx. She thought she was beginning a new chapter. But instead, that man turned out to be a pimp, and he allegedly forced her into the world of sex trafficking. Corinna was last seen on September 20th, 2017. She was spotted leaving a cheap motel called The Haven in Queens, New York. After that, she vanished. But there were signs that Corinna was in trouble. Just 1 month before she disappeared, in August 2017, Corinna had gone to the police. She filed a report saying that her pimp had choked her and stolen her money. She was scared, but she was brave enough to get a restraining order against him. But when someone stands up to dangerous people, there's always a risk. After she disappeared, her family and the police feared that she might have been kidnapped by a sex trafficking ring, possibly in retaliation for reporting her abuser. And then, some strange things started to surface. Corinna had been active on social media. On September 10th, just 10 days before she went missing, she posted a final photo on Instagram. It showed her in the city, wearing a black cap. The caption was strange. It hinted at big changes and a new home. Her friends thought it was odd. They were right to be worried. After Corinna vanished, her mother, Sabina, began receiving heartbreaking texts. One of Corinna's last messages read, "I need things to change. I need to be happy. I lost motivation and goals because of how unhappy I've been. I hate myself, and I need to teach myself to love me and you. I want us to do it together. I don't want to be your disappointment, but I'm sorry. I need you, Mommy. I want you to help me." These messages showed a young woman desperate for a way out. But soon after, the messages stopped. Then something truly terrifying happened. In April 2018, months after Corinna had gone missing, someone contacted her mother and demanded a ransom, $7,000. They claimed to have Corinna and told her mother to meet them in a parking lot in North Carolina. Sabina was ready to go. She would have done anything to save her daughter, but law enforcement suspected it was a scam, or maybe even a dangerous trap. They warned her not to go. The next day, the person sent a chilling message. "Remember this day, because it's the day you almost got her." Was it a cruel hoax? Or was it a real warning that slipped through their fingers? Police eventually arrested several people involved in the trafficking ring connected to Corinna's case. A man named Ishi Wani was arrested and later convicted of sex trafficking. He was one of the last people known to be connected to Corinna. Through recovered messages, police learned that Corinna had been advertised online for sex services shortly before she disappeared. They believe that after she went to the police, she may have been moved or even sold to other traffickers. And there was something else, something chilling. When police returned Corinna's phone to her mother, they found that all of her messages and call logs had been wiped clean, as if someone had remotely deleted everything to make sure no evidence remained. Later, an anonymous letter arrived, claiming to have seen Corinna in Queens after she vanished. But like many other leads, it led nowhere. Even though arrests were made, Corinna has never been found. Her case is a terrifying reminder of how dangerous sex trafficking is and how quickly someone can disappear in plain sight. One day she was a teenager posting selfies. The next she was gone, with only cryptic Instagram posts and heartbreaking messages left behind.
Well, after disappearing on September 20th, 2017, Corinna Slusser is still considered a missing person. Now, on Halloween of this year, Ishi Wuni was arrested and charged for sex trafficking in connection with her. Now, her mother, Sabina, says the hardest part is not knowing what happened to Corinna and the emptiness in her home.
Imagine going on a romantic vacation to paradise and never coming back. A man leaves his hotel room at 3:30 in the morning, fully dressed, carrying his phone and wallet. Then he disappears into the dark, and days later, a body is found. This is the chilling case of Brian Tarrence, a trip that was supposed to be a celebration, but ended in mystery. Brian Tarrence, 51, had just arrived with his wife for a much-anticipated anniversary getaway. They were staying at the Paradise Inn, a resort near Grace Bay, a stunning high-end area known for its white sand beaches and calm turquoise water. But just hours after they settled in, something strange happened. On the morning of June 25th, 2025, around 3:30 a.m., surveillance cameras at the hotel captured Brian leaving the building. He was alone, fully dressed, and carrying both his wallet and phone. There was no sign of distress, no one following him. Just a quiet man walking into the night. That was the last time he was seen alive.
A man who grew up in Plano is missing and was last seen more than a week ago at Turks and Caicos. Brian Tarrence was on vacation with his wife. Hotel surveillance shows he left his room and never came back. His brother, who still lives in Plano, has traveled to the islands to help search.
When Brian didn't return, his wife reported him missing. For 10 days, search crews, investigators, and local volunteers combed the area. Beaches, roads, bushland, and even the ocean. There were no pings from his phone, no bank activity. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. The question on everyone's mind: why would a man walk away from his hotel room in the early hours of the morning and never come back? Then, on July 5th, 2025, a shocking discovery was made. About 20 minutes from the hotel, on the Leeward Highway, someone found a body in a bushy, overgrown ditch. The body was in such a decomposed state that it couldn't be immediately identified. But the location, the timing, the details, all pointed to one possibility. Could this be Brian Tarrence? Authorities are still waiting on official forensic confirmation, but many close to the case believe it's him. So what happened? There are so many unanswered questions in this case. Why did Brian leave the hotel at 3:30 a.m.? Did he go out to meet someone? Was he lured or forced to leave? Why did no cameras pick up anything after that? And if that body is his, how did he end up nearly a mile away, alone, in the bushes? Police are reviewing more surveillance footage from nearby businesses and roads, but so far, nothing. Some believe he may have had a medical emergency and got lost in the dark. Others fear foul play. Was he followed? Did someone take advantage of the darkness and isolation of the island roads? The fact that his phone and wallet were with him when he left, but haven't been found, makes the mystery even deeper. Was it an accident? Was it planned? Or was it something even darker? Brian's family is devastated. A joyful celebration turned into a nightmare, far from home, in a foreign land. His wife has been cooperating with authorities and is desperate for answers. Even now, all they can do is wait for the final confirmation from forensic teams. This case is developing, and there may still be more twists to come. Imagine vanishing on the last day of high school, when your future seems just a drive away. But that drive never happened. This is the unsettling story of Alyssa Turney, a teenager who disappeared without a trace, and the secrets that followed. Alyssa Turney was 17, bright and full of life. It was May 17th, 2001, her junior year's final day at Paradise Valley High in Phoenix, Arizona. But she never came home, and what started as a presumed runaway turned into a chilling cold case still unsolved today. That morning, Alyssa told her boyfriend she was leaving school early because her stepfather, Michael Turney, would pick her up. CCTV shows her at his truck around 11 a.m. By 1 p.m., Michael said they'd driven out for lunch, had an argument, and he dropped her home. Soon after, he called 911 saying she ran away. But something didn't add up. Alyssa left behind her phone, car, makeup, jewelry, and nearly $1,800 in savings. Hardly what a runaway would do. She also left a note saying she was heading to California, where her aunt lived. But investigators later confirmed she never reached California, never made calls, never used her car. That note became the first thread that unraveled this story. In the early days, the police didn't thoroughly investigate. They didn't question Michael deeply or search her room. Friends say that Michael had surveillance cameras in the house, and Alyssa complained to them about being watched and controlled.
But as they began to interview her friends, some disturbing things start to surface. And they say that among them was the feeling that you were obsessed with her. You've heard this before.
It's on the affidavit, yeah.
That you were very controlling,
Yes.
and very strict, that you had her sign contracts, you followed her around, you interviewed parents of any new friends of hers. Do you feel that went far beyond what a normal parent would do?
Oh, it depends on who you talk to. Mm-hmm. If it would avoid anything happening to my daughter, yes, I don't think it was far beyond. At the time, I look back at it because she ran away as a result of that. Yeah, of course I feel bad about it.
Other people said you were demeaning to Alyssa, that you made her feel stupid.
That's an absolute lie.
After more time passed, new details raised real alarm. In 2006, the case briefly hit national headlines when convicted serial killer Thomas Heimer confessed, but eventually retracted. His claim got no proof, but it did reignite the investigation. By 2008, detectives zeroed in on Michael. Over 200 interviews were conducted. Several of Alyssa's friends reported he'd been verbally and sexually abusive. One friend said, "He always made me uncomfortable." But Michael refused investigators access to her room and stayed silent, cooperating with no one. A crucial break came not from any missing person laid, but a shocking one. In 2008, police executed a search warrant at Michael's house and unearthed a homemade bomb stash, rifles, silencers, and a detailed mass murder manifesto targeting a Union Hall. Michael pleaded guilty in 2010, went to prison, not for Alyssa's disappearance, but for those bomb conspiracy charges. Investigators said, that's not justice for Alyssa. But it did confirm they were dealing with someone very dangerous. Now free from prison, Michael remained uncharged in Alyssa's case. Her younger sister Sarah wasn't satisfied. She launched social campaigns, a podcast, a petition, and viral TikToks, calling for justice. She released audio, a recording of Alyssa calling him a pervert, and a secretly recorded clip from 2017 where Michael ominously said he'd answer questions on his deathbed.
So, mine and Alyssa's father has been the only person of interest in Alyssa's case for almost 10 years. Yet, the police have never interviewed him. So, I did it myself. And here's what he had to say when I asked him what happened to Alyssa.
Be there at the deathbed, sir, and I'll give you all the honest answers you want to hear.
Why don't you give them to me now?
Because you got them now.
Then why are you making me this offer to go to your deathbed?
I don't know, Sarah. What are you looking for?
Yep. And when I went to the police and gave them the recording, do you know what the commander told me? Well, Sarah, he didn't confess to us. Please help me share this. This is insane. It should never happen to anyone.
In August 2020, due to Sarah's efforts, Michael was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Alex tweeted, "We did it, you guys. He's been arrested. Justice for Alyssa."
Hey guys, I don't know if you've heard, I got a call about an hour ago now, maybe less than that. My father's been arrested for Alyssa's murder. He just stopped crying and I'm trying not to cry again, and I just wanted to say thank you because I couldn't have done this without each and every one of you, without you guys caring so much and sharing her story.
Michael's trial started in July 2023. Over 6 days, police, Alyssa's boyfriend, and Sarah testified. But the prosecution had no body, no crime scene, no forensic evidence, nothing physical. The defense moved to acquit, and the judge agreed. Insufficient evidence to prove murder. Michael went free on July 18th, 2023. Sarah is not stopping. She continues to share new clues on social media, hoping someone, anyone, will come forward. Michael started his own YouTube channel and podcast, even filed a lawsuit against police, claiming wrongful imprisonment and framing. He says, "I want to clear my name before I die." As of now, Alyssa's fate is still unknown. No body, no proof, no closure. After getting out of jail, Michael Turney said that no matter what his family or other people think or say about him, he still loves his daughter and his family, and he always will.
How does it feel to be released today?
It doesn't feel good because I lost my family.
Where do you think Alyssa is? And did you play any part in her disappearance?
I'm not going to answer that question. Not till I talk with Jamie Jackson.
Do you think she's still alive?
I hope.
Your attorney said you were concerned about the case. Are you going to keep searching for Alyssa?
I'll never stop looking for my daughter.
Your other children testifying against you, what's your message to them now?
I still love them. I'll always love my children.
No matter what?
No matter what. Doesn't change for me. This is all created by the Phoenix PD.
Do you have a message for Sarah, who's fought for years to have Alyssa's case solved?
I love her. She's my daughter. I love her.
You want her to come home?
Obviously so.
Yeah.
19-year-old Donna Cloud was last seen in Splendora, Texas, on October 25, 2016. She was a young mother, a daughter, a friend, and one day she just vanished. No solid trail, no answers, just silence. This is the mysterious and heartbreaking disappearance of Donna Cloud. Donna was raised by her grandmother, who cared deeply for her. But not long before she disappeared, Donna moved in with her father, Daryl Beatty. That relationship? It was reportedly strained, and that tension may have played a crucial role in what happened next. On the day she vanished, Donna and her father had an argument. According to him, he told her to leave the house. Later that day, 2 men came to pick her up. One of them claimed he dropped Donna off safe and sound sometime later that night, possibly just before or just after midnight on October 26th. But here's where things get murky. Donna's father, Daryl Beatty, told police that she was going on a blind date that evening with a man she had met online. He claimed they were meeting at a restaurant in Kingswood.
I don't know where she's at. I don't know what's going on.
To hear Daryl Beatty is to feel his pain. A father searching to find his daughter. Donna Cloud is 19 years old, missing, her dad says, since Tuesday.
We went and got her a little phone from Walmart, and she was conversing with somebody on the internet. And then she told us that she was going to go out on a date.
Again, that was Tuesday. The date, according to Beatty, was here, the Texas Roadhouse restaurant on Highway 59 in Kingwood. That's a definite, says the family, but what they don't know is who Donna had agreed to meet.
She'd just been messaging him. He offered to take her to the Roadhouse for dinner.
Wednesday was the last time Beatty corresponded with Donna.
Hey, Dad, I'm going to go to the mall and probably see a movie this evening, not sure yet.
By text message. Since then, he has searched phone records, Facebook, you name it, nothing.
But when investigators checked the CCTV footage from that restaurant, Donna was never seen on the recordings. That story was never confirmed. So, what happened that night? Just before or after midnight on October 26th, Donna's Facebook account accepted friend requests from 2 men. Then, in the early morning hours of the 27th, Donna was active online, searching for friends on Facebook and Googling terms that haven't been publicly disclosed. Her phone data placed her traveling between Conroe and Houston, Texas. Her last known location was in the West Chase area of Houston. That was just after 1 a.m. on October 27th. After that, Donna was never seen or heard from again. There were some disturbing details that emerged. At the time of her disappearance, Donna had an abusive ex-boyfriend. He was questioned and even passed a polygraph test. But another man, one who had previously left Donna a threatening voicemail, refused to take a polygraph at all. In that voicemail, he can reportedly be heard saying, "Watch your back, and I'll get someone to smash you too." To this day, no one knows exactly why this man had an issue with Donna, or what their relationship truly was. What's especially chilling, Donna left behind everything she would have needed to survive. Her car, her money, her ID, her clothes, and most heartbreaking of all, her 4-year-old son, Ryan. Those who knew her say, without a doubt, Donna would have never willingly abandoned her son. Donna was described as a white woman with brown hair and brown eyes, between 5 feet 0 inches and 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighing between 95 and 113 pounds when she was last seen. She was wearing a burgundy t-shirt, blue jeans with a hole in the back right pocket, white canvas shoes. She also had her phone, which was in a wallet-style case. Donna has distinct features. Her ears are pierced and her nose is pierced on the right side. A diamond tattoo on her right ring finger, a cross on her right index finger, the phrase, "Love is enough," on her collarbone, the word faith in cursive on the inside of her right forearm and on her back shoulder blade. God is within her. She will not fail. She's also known for her deep dimples on both cheeks. Since 2016, Donna's case remains unsolved. There have been no arrests, no confirmed sightings, no closure for her loved ones. Her son Ryan is growing up without answers, and Donna's family continues to hold on to hope.
I don't know where she's at. She could be anywhere, and it really hurts me because there's nothing I can do. I feel so helpless.
Donna Cloud is a mother herself, has a 3-year-old son.
She's 19. She's just a baby.
Tonight, her father, her family, holds out hope, praying, they say, that Donna comes home.
We miss you and we love you and we want you to come home.
If you have any information about the disappearance of Donna K. Cloud, please contact Montgomery County Sheriff's Office at 936-7605800. It was a bright, quiet morning in Georgetown, Texas, when a 19-year-old college student went for her daily jog and never came home. No sign of a struggle, no goodbye. Just silence. This is the haunting case of Rachel Cook, a mystery that's remained unsolved for over 2 decades. Rachel Cook was 19 years old. She was a college student at San Diego Mesa College in California, but she was home in Texas visiting her family for the holidays in January 2002. She loved running. She was athletic, a member of her college track team. Rachel was smart, independent, and close with her family. On January 10th, 2002, Rachel went out for her usual morning jog. It was around 9:30 a.m. She was wearing a gray running outfit, a green sports bra, white Asics shoes, and listening to music on her yellow Sony Walkman. She was last seen by neighbors just 200 yards from her home in Georgetown, Texas. They said it looked like she was finishing her run, maybe cooling down and heading back. But Rachel never came home. When her family realized Rachel hadn't returned, panic set in. This wasn't like her. Flyers were made. The community jumped in. Police searched the neighborhood and nearby areas where Rachel had been seen jogging, but found nothing. Not a shoe, not her Walkman, not even a footprint. Rachel had vanished without a trace. At first, police thought it was a random abduction. But over time, that theory faded. Rachel was strong and fit. She would have fought back. It was the middle of the day in a quiet neighborhood. Someone would have heard something. That's why many believe Rachel knew her abductor. Perhaps a friend, a former classmate, someone who knew she'd be home for winter break and was familiar with her routine. Over the years, several persons of interest have been looked into. One man, Michael Moore, actually confessed to killing Rachel. But later, his confession was ruled not credible, and the charges were dropped. Another person of interest had been a friend from 2002 who police believed might have important information. But again, no solid leads came from it. As of now, Rachel Cook is still missing. Her case remains open. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for any information that could lead to Rachel's location or help solve her disappearance. Her family has never given up. They hold on to hope that someone, somewhere, knows something.
Everything runs through your mind. You get excited. You want to go help.
Helpless, but hopeful.
You know that this may be absolutely nothing, but at the same time, you want it to be that piece of information.
Janet Cook has been searching for her daughter 15 years now, since the day she disappeared in 2002.
You know, running all over this town. Do you know where Rachel is? Have you seen Rachel? Have you talked to Rachel?
How does someone vanish in broad daylight? Without a witness? Without a clue? If you know anything about Rachel Cook's disappearance, contact the Williamson County Sheriff's Office or the FBI. What happened to Kathleen Beringer? That question has haunted Wyoming residents since 1989, when a woman seemingly vanished in broad daylight, leaving behind her daughter, her car, and a house that felt off. No one saw her leave. No one heard a struggle. And over 3 decades later, she's still missing. It was April 17th, 1989, in the quiet town of Riverton, Wyoming. Kathleen Beringer, 41 years old, was living with her teenage daughter Kelly on First Street, right across from Ash Grove Elementary School. Kathleen was doing her best to rebuild her life, taking classes at Central Wyoming College, working part-time at the Hilltop Bar, and raising her daughter as a single mom. That morning seemed totally normal. Kelly got ready for school and said goodbye to her mom, who was still in her bathrobe, carrying her purse and glasses. Kelly had no idea it would be the last time she would ever see her mother. That afternoon, Kelly returned home from school. But something felt off immediately. The house was empty, which wasn't unusual in itself. But her mom always left a note if she was going somewhere. Today, there was no note. And then Kelly noticed something even stranger. On the coffee table, an ashtray that had been recently cleaned now had 2 fresh cigarette butts in it. One was her mother's brand. The other belonged to Donald Kenneth Pack Jr. Donald Pack wasn't a stranger. He was a friend of Kathleen's ex and had been visiting frequently in the weeks before she disappeared. He'd even been talking about buying her a computer. They were spending more time together. But Kelly didn't trust him. In fact, she said she found him creepy. And the day her mom went missing, Pack showed up at the house. When he realized Kathleen wasn't there, he picked up the house phone, dialed a number, but didn't leave a message. Then, without saying much to Kelly, he left. Still holding out hope, Kelly went to a friend's house, but before leaving, she wrote a note for her mom, just in case she came home while Kelly was out. Later that evening, Kelly returned. The note? Untouched. Her mother? Still missing. And her car was still in the driveway. That's when Kelly called her grandmother, and from that moment, the search for Kathleen Beringer began. Police arrived and immediately took notice. There were no signs of a struggle. That told investigators one thing. Kathleen likely left willingly or with someone she trusted. As they dug deeper into Kathleen's acquaintances, one name raised every red flag. Donald Pack. Donald Kenneth Pack Jr. had a violent history. He had been on parole since October of 1984 after serving a 12-year sentence for aggravated assault and kidnapping. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. It was believed he may have been involved in over 30 assault cases in Jackson, Wyoming. A psychologist once described him as intelligent and very dangerous. Even more unsettling, many of his alleged victims shared striking similarities. Similarities that Kathleen Beringer also had. Despite all of this, Pack was never officially named a suspect. Only a person of interest. He denied any involvement in Kathleen's disappearance, even though he admitted to 2 other assault allegations. And to this day, we don't know if he was ever formally questioned by police about her case. What we do know is that no new evidence has surfaced. No body has been found, and no closure has come for her daughter or her family. More than 30 years have passed since that morning in April. and Kathleen Beringer remains one of Wyoming's longest unsolved missing persons cases. Did she leave with someone she trusted? Was she lured away and met with violence? Or was there something even more sinister beneath the surface? Kathleen's daughter Kelly has lived her entire adult life without answers. And the truth is, someone out there still knows what happened. When Charles Browning III, a 30-year-old man from Mobile, Alabama, went missing, it left behind a trail of heartbreak and unanswered questions. Charles was the father of 5 children, 2 of whom had just recently been born. Although he and the mother of his children were not legally married, they had been together for so many years that they were considered common-law husband and wife. The day he vanished was September 27th, 2019. That day, Charles and his wife were out together in Mobile, running errands around town. While they were out, his wife mentioned she needed to use the restroom. They looked for a place to stop and decided on a nearby IHOP restaurant. She went inside to use the restroom, but when she came back out, Charles was gone. Since that moment, no one, not his wife, not his children, not his family, has heard from him again. His whereabouts remain a complete mystery. At the time, the couple had been driving his wife's car because Charles didn't own a vehicle himself. That's led to a lot of questions. Did someone pick him up outside the restaurant? Did he leave on foot? Or did something more sinister happen in those few minutes his wife was inside? What makes this case even more concerning is that, in the days leading up to his disappearance, Charles had been acting strangely. Friends and family noticed he had become paranoid, although he never shared what was making him feel that way. Despite this behavior change, those who knew him say it's completely unlike him to disappear without a word. He had always kept in touch with his family, especially with his children. Because no one saw what happened in those crucial moments outside the IHOP, there's no way of knowing which direction Charles may have gone. There's also no way of knowing if someone was waiting for him. Charles is usually described as having brown hair, green eyes, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, and weighing around 215 pounds. He normally keeps a goatee and is known for having piercings in both of his nipples. A distinct feature that could help identify him is a large scar running from under his left rib cage to his right shoulder. He also has several unique tattoos, which his family has shared with investigators to help spread awareness. Here are some of them: a portrait of his youngest children on his chest and the name Terror on the back of his neck, the word Mom with a red rose on his upper left arm, a red devil wearing a hat on his right upper arm, a tattoo of a woman with a banner on one of his legs, the words Loyalty, Omea, and Respect on his abdomen. In loving memory of Nan, on his forearm, several koi fish on the other arm. When Charles was last seen outside the IHOP, he was wearing khaki shorts, a maroon shirt, a blue and white baseball cap, and brown flip-flops. Despite ongoing efforts, his case remains open and unsolved. If anyone out there has information about what happened to Charles Browning III, don't hesitate to get in touch with the Mobile Police Department at 2-51208-7211. It was the early morning of January the 28th, 2008, when John Glasgow pulled out of his driveway in Little Rock, Arkansas. John was 45 years old, a well-respected chief financial officer and vice president at CDI Contractors, one of the region's largest construction firms. But that drive would be the last time anyone would ever see him. John never showed up for work that morning. He wasn't answering his phone either. That alone was cause for concern. But this wasn't just any employee. This was the CFO of the company. So within hours, something rare happened. His company didn't wait. They launched a search party immediately. The first lead came fast. John's cell phone signal had last pinged near Pettigene Mountain State Park, a quiet, forested area about an hour away from Little Rock. And there, in the parking lot, was John's SUV. Inside, his phone, his laptop, his credit cards, all untouched. But here's where things got even stranger. His keys and wallet were missing. This didn't feel like a man who just wanted to vanish. It felt like something was wrong. As police started digging deeper, more unsettling details began to surface. At the time of his disappearance, CDI, the company John worked for, was under a financial audit by its parent company, Dillard's. It came right after the death of CDI's founder. There were ongoing negotiations over ownership, and John was deeply involved. On top of that, John had just recently received a substantial bonus. That raised even more eyebrows. People started to wonder, was John being pressured? Blackmailed? Could this have been some kind of ransom plot? But those theories began to crumble, because none of his money was touched. Not the bonus, not the credit cards, not a single cent. So where did he go, and why? For 7 long years, his family, his co-workers, his friends waited, hoping, wondering. And then, in March of 2015, a shocking discovery. Hikers on a trail near Red Bluff Drive, still on Petit Jean Mountain, stumbled across a human skull. DNA confirmed it the next day. It was John Glasgow. A week later, the rest of his clothed remains were found, just 200 yards away, resting on a rocky ledge. His wallet was still on him, his ID, his credit cards, all intact. No signs of trauma, no signs of a struggle, no evidence of anyone else being involved. Authorities quickly ruled, no foul play, case closed. But for John's family, the questions were just beginning. His brother made it clear, John wasn't a hiker. He wasn't the kind of man to wander off into the woods alone, especially not with high-stakes work and negotiations looming. So what was he doing there? Was he meeting someone? Was he lured there? Was this a personal crisis? Or something far more sinister? Something quiet? Deliberate? Even today, no one knows. No one knows why John Glasgow drove to that mountain, why he left behind his phone, why he vanished, and why for 7 years no one found him. All we're left with is a mystery, a trail that ended too soon, and a family still searching for answers. In the silence he left behind.